Hi there. So the world we're going to look at now in Ancient Brain is going to do a breadth first search using a strange thing called 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Now, this is a little hard to explain, or maybe not, but if you've never heard of it, you may wonder what 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is. It's the idea that everybody in Hollywood either acted with Kevin Bacon, or acted with somebody who acted with Kevin Bacon, or acted with someone who acted with someone who acted with someone, etc., with Kevin Bacon. So what we need is a database of movies and actors, and it uses this one here. It's a very short one. In fact, there's only a couple of movies in it, and it's got various actors. Kevin Bacon is in some of these and not in others, and the aim of the world is to find out the shortest path to Kevin Bacon from the starting point. It's kind of mad, but it illustrates breadth first search. So if I click on this to run it, we can pick an actor up here. So I pick some actor and it tells me how quickly I can get to Kevin Bacon from that actor. So that was acting in the same movie. I think down here we'll have some where we have to go through a few movies. So acted in this movie with someone who acted in this movie with someone who acted in this movie with Kevin Bacon. So it uses this JSON file. That's the database. It's a JavaScript-friendly format. And your first job, as always with these Ancient Brain worlds, is to have a look at the code and try and understand a bit of it. And probably the best way of doing that is to clone it and then have a look at your own copy. So let's clone it. We've got a clone copy. Let's edit our clone copy. And now we can have a look in here. So hard to visualize graph, it says, and actually it is, and we don't bother. In this case, in contrast with the binary tree, we don't really do any visualization. We're just doing the search. Okay, I'm not going to go through this code in any great detail. I just point out this bit here where it loads up the database, and that's done with what's called a preload function in P5. So it gets that loaded up before anything else runs. So an interesting experiment might be to edit that JSON file yourself, or give it a different JSON file to search. Then when you look at the way it actually does the search, what it does is it starts with the start node and it searches all the neighbors before it searches those 2 steps away, and it searches all of those before it searches those 3 steps away. So this is our breadth first search, and what it means is when it finds a path, it's the joint shortest path. So you need to satisfy yourself in the code that that's what it's doing. It is searching those before it moves to ones that are 1 step further away. So this will guarantee to give you a joint shortest path. Now it doesn't scale too well, but that's another issue that we'll talk about. Okay, and so to the exercise, what am I going to ask you to do with this world? Well, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to fix a bug. So if I open up the console and I do a search for somebody down the bottom here, like Michael Creighton here, the results look fine, right? It does the search, it does get the shortest path. But if we take a look at what it's actually doing, you will discover fairly quickly that it's adding some people twice. Look at this, adding Julia Roberts to the queue, adding Julia Roberts to the queue. In fact, all of these people. So there's a whole load of people get added twice. Here's another example. And so how come these people are all being added? And the issue is basically that the search adds new nodes to the queue if they're not searched, but it doesn't check that they're on the queue already. So your job is to fix that bug. The other thing in the exercise is there anything you could do to help visualize the graph? To help visualize what's going on in the search. Now that's a bit open-ended. You might want to comment about that, discuss it, come up with some plan. If you imagine all the movies in the IMDb database, for example, on this, hundreds of thousands of movies, it's not going to work. But maybe with this, there could be some visualization as to how these actors interrelate. All right, and you'll see the rest of the instructions in the exercise. There's one or two other things, for example, what if there's no path found? So it's a little bit rough and ready, and it's your job to tidy it up, to modify the code and make this a better search. And if you can find something amazing like another database that you could plug into it, another JSON file, then that would be fantastic. Okay, hope you have fun.